What is up? Welcome back to another one. In the last video, we finally finished the manual swap. We got the pedals in. We also put the axles in, trans fluid in, connected the shift linkage, radiator back in. We ended up having to get a new distributor. The distributor I bought was actually crap, so we got another one off Rock Auto, which is good now. And we finally pulled this thing out, started it up, let it chill, let it run. It did a couple of heat cycles. Everything's good to go. The only thing that we're missing now is that the head chatters a lot, so we've got to do the valve lash on that. Then we still have to put the interior back together. I don't want to do that fully until we've done at least a nice little test drive. So I want to at least bolt the dash in, put the seat in properly, get this valve lash fixed. I got to bleed the brakes as well, do a little once over check with everything, then go for a ride down the road, make sure everything's kosher, it's driving good, it's got all the drivability and everything. Then we can move on to putting the interior fully back together. I still have to seal up the hole for where the auto shifter is. I don't have a plan for that yet. I got metal, but I don't know how I want to attach it. I think when I've done it in the past, I probably did JB weld or some kind of glue. Now, that's the plan for this video. Hopefully we can get it all done. Hopefully we might get a little bit more done. Let's get into it. Let's get this valve cover off, get the lash fixed. Also, maybe paint the valve cover while it's off. I hopefully have some paint. If I don't, then we'll just do it later. But yeah, let's get to the valve lash. All right, well, I forgot to record all that because work called me like 3 times. That might have been the crank shaft pulley. Nice. Is the bolt still on there? Yes. Oh my God, so much better. Nice. Yeah, that thing was like a musical last night. You can pump. Alright. Alright, that's it. Alright, there you go, brother.
Protocol accepted. Systems online.
Brake's a little spongy.
It'll be alright. That'll also be alright.
Analyzing data. Anomaly detected. Analyzing data. Anomaly detected. Goodbye.
What happened?
Brakes feel weird, and I think the clutch isn't adjusted all the way. So.
Hard drive.
Yeah, it drives though. I think the clutch not being adjusted right makes it drive like dog shit.
Did he do that?
No, not yet.
I mean, it's still on there.
It's tight enough. It does need to be, that's a good reason, because I will forget if I wasn't there.
Should be alright.
Yeah. It needs a little bit more adjustment.
Some whamma jamma going on down there.
Yeah.
Need some help from Magic Johnson.
So recap on test drive, it feels like we don't have enough power. It feels really sluggish, so we got to figure that out. Reverse grinds all the time. I adjusted the clutch in and out. I mean, at the very tip top, at the very bottom, nothing. It's still grinding, so that really sucks. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. We can probably still sell it like that. Do have other transmissions I could probably throw in there, but I don't know if I really want to waste my time. So the brakes are squishy. The pedal isn't as firm as I want. So I had Sydney go to Harbor Freight, get me this thingy while she was out, and hopefully I can get the brakes bled and feeling really good. at least one thing off the plate. For now, I'll just start putting this thing back together, get the interior back in, get the hood on, the fenders, to basically make it where we just have to finish figuring out the motor, what's wrong with it, why it's sluggish, because I feel confident enough that my wiring is good now. It's really just something here is wrong. So let's get to it. Let's get this interior in, get the hood on, make this thing look like a car again.
Hold on, let me take my time.
Alrighty, so we got a lot done so far. We got the dash in, carpet, the back seats, and then those two door panels, which were missing the mechanism on the inside that opens the door. So we stole it out of the parts wagon. It's all the way over there. That's crashed. That's for that guy, if anyone remembers. So now we have this issue right here. And then I'm pretty sure the bushing inside here is bad. And to fix that issue, I've got the bushing that goes inside here, which I've never done before, so that should be interesting. Then I have the back bushing, which is right here, that holds this guy. So we got that, and then this right here goes on the other side of the mount that goes to the transmission. And then we have this guy. I know it looks cheesy, but I think that should be good to seal off at least this hole. And then for this, I have an idea to seal that up. Alright, so since this is not an auto car, it doesn't have the provisions for the mount that holds the shift linkage, which is one of those bushings I showed you. For test fitting, I drilled holes and had bolts and nuts running through, but we are going to use this, which is a riv nut. Hopefully that's focusing. I'm going to drill the factory holes to the size of this and put them in through the bottom, because it mounts from the bottom. Let's go ahead and get that drilled out, get these mounted in. You should see this pop through in a second. There we go. Get the second one through. Screwed in with the arms wide open. Should be seeing it pull it in. Should be it for that guy. We just gotta do the same thing for this other one. Alright. That should be it. Good. See if I can do this. Good! There we go. So those are in, and you can see there's like little knurls on the outside of it, and that should grip the holes, like on the top of the hole and inside the hole itself, to keep it from not spinning when you tighten this. But obviously these are small, like M6 bolts or whatever. You don't ever want to tighten those too tight anyway, so don't be cranking down on when it's something like that. A little bit more explanation. So there's your little knurls right there that grab the metal. So we got all the interior basically in, the seats, the center console, that center console. I'm still missing the little boot that goes around that, and then I guess I need to put the shift knob on, and that little emblem. But for the most part, it's all back together. It looks like a normal car. Even got these guys back on, this one back on. I lost this piece, so we have a blue one, but that's fine. Now, as you can see, we have the wheels off. We are bleeding the brakes. So if you remember, the brakes are pretty spongy, even though me and Blake bled them. We did the pump method, where he pumped it, held it, and then I would crack it. The method works sometimes, but sometimes it does not, like in this case, especially probably because these lines are probably pretty rusted, so we need to get all that junk through the system, which is kind of hard to do that with the pump method. So this, that I just got from Harbor Freight, is a vacuum bleeder. It uses the air compressor to create a vacuum which pulls the fluid out. And it's probably the best method to bleed brakes. One of the main things I like about this kit is this guy right here. It constantly is filling the master with fluid while that thing is working, so you're not having to worry about like when you do most of the time bleeding brakes with the pump method. So I already got it hooked up. I've got it connected to the nipple on the back. We're connected to the compressor, and this nipple goes into this canister, which is called your used brake fluid. So once I hit this trigger, I'm gonna lock it and let it run for a little bit and wait till we get clean brake fluid to come out of there, and also make sure there's no air bubbles still coming out. So let's get this thing going, and then we'll check it out here in a second. Just like that, we have a pretty full canister of nasty brake fluid. And inside here you can also see some of the nasty gunk that's in these lines. See if you can see it up in there. Maybe. There's a lot of like black little particles, which I assume is the rust coming out of the pipes. Let's finish bleeding the brakes on all these and see if it actually fixes it. Got the car back on the ground. Went for a test drive. The brakes are a little bit better, but they're still kind of iffy. It's probably the booster or the master's bad. I don't know. Maybe we could vacuum bleed it for a little bit longer, but it's good enough to try to get this thing gone. So the next thing we need to do to it is put the side skirts on, give it a good wash, and then I also got to tighten the crank pulley because I forgot to do that, as you can see with my little note. But other than those things, I think this car is damn near close to being ready to put on Marketplace. I did forget I didn't have the title for it. This car was like an auction car or something. I lost all that paperwork, so I just applied for a title. I should be here like a week or so that's good. Once I get the title in hand, this thing is going on Marketplace. I do have kind of a plan if this thing doesn't sell as it's set. I got some suspension that Raymond had for his hatch. He said he'd let me put on this, and then putting my rotas on this. It's the old fronts I used to run on the Miata. Putting that on here and slamming it, and then I think it should sell by then. Because at the end of the day, it's a pretty nice car. It should clean up. I mean, hell, if I tried to buff the thing, I probably could make it really shine. So let's get these side skirts on, try to get this thing washed, get these last little odds and ends, and get this thing on Marketplace and get it gone. And there is the final product of the brown wagon. As you see, we got the skirts on and we gave it a nice wash. Got all the gunk, most of the gunk off the hood. There's a lot of gunk on the rest of the car too, but sadly the roof is not coming clean, which that's partly my fault. Just, you know, not taking care of it. I didn't plan on doing this as a car. And I did park it under that tree, which mutilated this roof. So sucks, but I think it did clean up a lot better than I thought it would. I really want to spray these with some spray paint, like some silver or something, just to make it pop, which we might do that in another video. I kind of want to end it here, get this gone and behind us, because we really need to move onto that car. Drift Week is coming pretty fast and I just drug ass on this, so we need to move on from this content and go on to that guy. So with that being said, next video is going to be us stripping the interior out of that, because I am finally getting this thing caged. I went back and forth on if I wanted to cage it or if I wanted someone else to cage it. I called a couple places and they were either booked, or one of the ones said that they are moving locations and they couldn't do anything this year unless, you know, you were in, which I'm not on the in. So I was going to buy my own equipment and do it. I reached out to one of my friends' buddies who's a fabricator, asking for some pipe if I could purchase it from him. And just on a whim, I was like, hey, would you know, cage my car for me? And he said, yeah. And he sent me some of his work and it looks pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we need to get this thing stripped, basically the whole interior, and just leave a driver's seat, and he's going to make us a killer cage. It should follow the FD spec. One of the main things that I didn't want to do like a cage kit is because all of them use the Miata spec cage, and it goes into the door here, and you guts basically the whole door, and then it also, the dash bar goes all the way through the dash, through the HVAC, kind of just basically makes it a full-on race car. And I don't want a full-on race car. I just really need to meet the intrusion bar requirement for Drift Week. And also a lot of the tracks up north I know require cages for drifting, and I would like to drift up there one day. So it's nice to get this car to that level. But yeah, I didn't need a full-on Miata spec race car cage. Look forward to that in the next video, getting that thing ready to give to that guy. And then maybe we'll sprinkle some wagon content in there. I do want to get another project in here. Maybe while that's getting caged, it's going to take about 2 weeks. I kind of want to move on to Sydney's Civic hatch, get it running, so it's not just sitting there taking up space. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So on the blue hatch, Raymond bought that. It's sitting here because we are probably going to B-swap it sometime. I got that LS I picked up from the junkyard, so probably going to go on that. That shouldn't take long. Raymond's willing to spend some coin to make it basically a plug and play, drop in and go. So that should be a cool little quick video. As you noticed, we got rid of the truck. That sold. So we're working towards our goals that we started when we first dropped the announcement of Drift Week. So that's good. Pretty proud of myself. And that's on the docket sometime soon. I really think that should be, you know, knock on some wood, easy to get running, because in my mind, just throw a carb on it, have someone help me tune it, maybe. I've never messed with carbs, and then I think it should be good to go. I mean, it's a Chevy 350 in there, and from what I know, they're pretty easy and simple. So that's a lot of rambling. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate it. I'll see you next one. Peace. Oh, before you go, 1 second. There is one other thing. I got something under that tarp that's going to be exciting for the future. So again, if you watch it in, I appreciate it. I'll see you. Peace.